Just emailing you. Slightly more reliable, if that's okay. Right, okay. I've looked at your statement, and I appreciate you changed guardian. I hadn't realised you'd not met with Sean. I understood that you had earlier on,
Mm-hmm.
with apologies. So your proposed, as I understand it now, is you want Christian returned to your care in
Mm-hmm.
California. Yep.
Yep.
You don't seem to feel that the proposed placement is suitable, and you raised that. Is it paternal grandmother that lives a couple of blocks away?
Yeah. Nancy, and then it's also the one that would actually have him if that placement were to happen would be Christine's older sister.
It is her sister, isn't it? Yeah, it's Deborah Davis. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't realise that Grandma lived in that area. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
I think
he's
because
just a
we.
block or two away.
Oh, is she?
It'd be a
Okay.
disaster.
Because the care plan is that Grandma should have 2 hours contact, video contact 6 times a year. The same mother as Christine. How Deb would enforce that with her own mother.
Um, I don't understand any of it because, frankly, it violates U.S. law, and I know that for a fact. Because you can't have
What
two
do you mean
custody
violates
orders in
US
the
law?
same country. I have full
You can't
custody
have what,
already.
sorry?
No, I was saying that you can't have contradicting custody orders. The one that I've had since August 2021 remains in full effect and
The
would not be
Oklahoma
altered.
order,
So
yeah?
yeah, I don't know how any of
Yeah.
this is even possible anyway. It's been the most baffling effort made by.
To be fair, it's not one. It's not a situation we see often either. So it's a kind of, I'm being told you've got a custody order from the Oklahoma court, but then they had the Oklahoma expert in court, and then I'm waiting for the Florida expert to come in, which I think it's due Wednesday. Could be tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. To confirm what the legal situation is, because I'm not clear how it all interlinks
Yeah,
and how you can have an order in one state. I mean, I've lived in the US before, so I know different state, different laws. I totally get that, but I don't understand how you can get a different order for Florida and have the Oklahoma order running still. They need to explain that to me because it just doesn't make sense on the ground.
yeah. It
No.
doesn't. It is nationwide. It isn't one of those things where one state has this and one state has that. Custody order is applied nationwide, and
So the custody order you've got in Oklahoma stands. What you're saying.
yes,
So
anywhere in this country.
that's in place. So
Yeah,
whatever order they think they can put in Florida has got to contend with the Oklahoma nationwide order, and how that works. I'm a social worker. I'm not legal, so
yeah,
I don't know. I'm being honest. I don't know, and
yeah.
that's one of the issues I'm querying, as in how is this supposed to work? Why is this adoption? In the UK, you wouldn't have adoption with a family member,
Yeah,
but we're being told the orders we'd have here you can't have over there. But that's the Florida export's going to hopefully explain all that, which we're all waiting to hear realistically, aren't we? I think.
yeah.
I was
Um,
going to catch up my
that's
notes.
also
Sorry.
why I have the right of assistance order. Um, also, and the way that works is it orders law enforcement at any level, anywhere in this country, to go and retrieve him by any and all means necessary, and everything that implies. So if someone else were to have him and they fought, like refused to, turn him over, they
So
would be endangering
arguably, with that
themselves.
order, he could be removed from the placement in Florida.
Yeah, they would remove him, and they would use arms if they needed to, which they probably
Well, as
would
they
because
used to
that's
do,
how the
yeah,
cops are
yeah,
here. And
yeah,
that would
yeah.
put
No,
him in
totally,
danger, which I don't
totally.
want, and have to send him through another, experience of trauma.
No, I get that.
Yeah, it'd be
Totally.
quite a
To be
mess.
honest,
It'd be quite a mess.
it's kind of there already, isn't it? It's just the overlap is just confusing. I think that probably covers it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one of the queries I've got is legally how is it supposed to work on the ground? How does it affect the Oklahoma order? How can they put an order in place in Florida that's going to effectively overrule the Oklahoma order? And these are the questions I just haven't got the answers to. I just don't get it.
Yeah, we're in the same boat.
Yeah. You've got a good legal team, though, I hope. So I'm hoping they're arguing. And yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you expand on your concerns about the proposed placement in Florida with Deb Davis and her husband, please?
Yeah, aside from the, you know, legal impossibility of it, she has also conspired with Christine repeatedly. They did this during the Oklahoma custody case originally. Deborah Davis, on Christine's behalf, kept trying to file bogus protective orders against me. They were always turned down. She has also stated in the Florida documents that I read that Deborah said that her intent is to return him to his mother. That is her ultimate goal, which would be, I mean, the whole reason we're in this situation is because she's a clear danger to him.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's in writing and the council still signed off on it is appalling.
With apologies, is that actually in the connected persons assessment of
Yeah.
her?
Yeah.
Can you give me the page reference to that? Because I've not read it recently, but I'll read it again.
Yeah, it's the Unified Florida Home Study. Let me pull it up right now.
I usually have two screens open with a bundle in front of me because I'm travelling. I can't at the moment.
Yeah.
Home study. So I'll reference it. I can always email if I've got any queries. Going to.
And it's, let's see, I almost have it here.
Okay, thank you.
I had sent it with my final statement to.
It's about 15 attachments. I'm kind of generalising, but I know when it's come through, I've just tried to download it again, and I can't get them all to open at the moment. But again, I think it's because I'm hotspotting off my phone.
Okay, it's called the Unified Home Study Florida Child Protection Services for Filing document. It's from November 28th, 2022.
November 28th, 22. Yeah. It's in the bundle, isn't it?
It should be.
There's a 6,000 page plus bundle.
Yeah.
I've got it in 2 parts. So
now I wouldn't be entirely surprised if they don't have that in the bundle, because it's a really damning piece of evidence. Because within it,
that document. Do you want to email it to me, please?
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Yeah.
And they also in it, Florida noted that they were told by the UK that it was unknown who the father was.
Now, I have seen that in the bundle earlier on, that initially she was saying she didn't know who the father was. And my understanding, again, I wasn't the guardian then, was she was quite evasive when being asked in court. That's what the counsel and solicitor have told me, that she couldn't even give them a straight answer at all.
Yeah, no.
We've been DNA tested now, so that's not in question anyway.
But Florida was told that was still up in the air recently.
But at that point, it wasn't.
Exactly.
This is like November last year.
Exactly. They lied. That's why Florida, up to this point, has been cooperative, because they've been given the impression.
So who told Florida that in November last year then?
Presumably the Coventry City Council, because they signed off on it. And Blessed Horror, the social worker, who we will be destroying in court, to be blunt. We have him on audio recording lying 5 times. He's made multiple statements verbally that completely contradict what he wrote.
I'm not going to get into that because I can't.
Oh, I know.
But that's a matter of your legal
yeah, that's legal.
Child paternity was not proved as late as November last year. That's crazy.
But that's how they got Florida to do as much as they have so far. They did the home study of Deborah's place and were cooperating with the UK because they were given this false impression. They don't even know there's a current custody order.
There's supposed to be support coming in from, I've got St. Nick's in my head as the agency that's going to provide the extra therapeutic training support for the family. Is that on the back of that assessment then?
It may be in there. I don't recall that part.
That's definitely in the bundle. I've seen that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to send me the Florida home study. I mean, it may be in the bundle. I had a meeting with my QC. No, sorry, it's one of the Queen's died, so it's KC on Friday and the solicitor and the barrister, and we kind of determine which of the bundles is the correct bundles. So I think two of us had got the wrong bundle. I think it was only like about 20 pages short, but I think sometimes the page references can be affected by which bundle you've got.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll check if that's actually in there. So I know you kind of raised issues about Blessed in your statement, and obviously you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm sure you'll have very good legal advice on this. I'm not asking you to kind of expand on where you're going to go with that, but do you want to give me a flavour of the issues that you feel aren't accurate that were in that assessment that has gone against you?
Yeah, I mean, most of them are in my statement, but
I know there's quite a lot set out in there of concerns that you'd got.
yeah, he had like for example, he had written that I wasn't supporting him ever seeing his mother or his mother's side of the family.
I saw that, but that wasn't the impression I'd got from what I'd read earlier.
No, yeah, I had told him. I said, listen, I'd have to vet these people because I got to make sure that he's
You
not
said make sure
re-abducted and turned over
take
to
him
her.
off mom and take him off and take him back to mom. I did see that in your statement.
Yeah, and his response was,
Um,
"That's really great." And then he wrote in the statement that I was completely unsupportive of that, and that was a problem because I'd be depriving him of his his maternal family.
yeah.
And there's like 5 different counts just like that. Um,
Okay. Anything particularly you want to raise? Obviously, so you're saying if it's placed in your care. Sorry, the computer's just moving a little bit. I was trying to balance you. You were just what I read is you're going to check that they're safe, that they're not just going to abduct him from you and hand them back to mom, which is not an unreasonable situation given the history.
yeah. One other one that he raised, which was odd because the previous social worker, Serena DeDrawl, had also raised it, but then it was very well resolved. Um, I had been in a movie theater, and this guy was yelling at me to
I
put on
saw that
a
about let's
mask.
take this outside. Yeah, you said basically it's a movie. People are watching a movie. Let's take it outside and talk about it. Let's not do it in
Yeah,
here. And he's took it as you're offering to kind of go in English language, go punch a guy outside.
yeah,
That's how it read. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So he ran with that.
That was a random example. I did think that when I read it. I remember thinking, it's interpretation, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think some of the issues that have kind of been raised generally are that you have, on occasion, I'm guessing, got completely frustrated with the proceedings and threw off a few emails that maybe on reflection you probably shouldn't have worded the way you worded. But I do get that you're kind of
Yeah,
to the
and
point
most
where
of
you're
what I
just
most
having
of
off.
what I worded that they took such offense to was me threatening a lawsuit, um, which I don't regret that, but but they were very offended
No,
by it, and I think really they're just alarmed because um, it's going to be costly. Um,
yeah,
but I wasn't throwing insults around. The one term that they really didn't like recently was that I referred to Blessed as a likely pedophile.
yeah, that's going to really upset people over here. To be
Yeah.
absolutely
But
fair,
the
you've been
reason
so
for it is
supportive and
because
improved so
during a
much.
visit, he starts taking photos of my son. And he shouldn't be taking pictures of a child that isn't his. And he said to my son, "Smile for daddy. We'll send these to daddy." He never sent any pictures. So who are those for? Who are those for? And his name's Blessed Whore. And he has lied repeatedly already. So it's like, okay. So he's a liar. He's taking creepy photos of my kid. This adds up.
Wait, was it during a contact session where you were on the link?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
so
you
it
heard
was
him take the
recorded.
pictures and say they were for you, yeah?
Yeah. Never sent anything. Um, it's very creepy behavior. And as someone who was abused as a child myself, I'm very sensitive to that. And uh, it's very clear something is
No,
wrong with this
I do
man.
appreciate that. Yeah. So you're saying that is why you called him that, is because of that one incident.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, so I understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It
you
wasn't. It
said to
wasn't
him
just to like
during
level
that,
some.
don't take pictures. Did you say don't take pictures? Or did you?
I thought he was actually going to send them to me. So I was like, oh, I'd
Oh,
like to
okay.
have photos of him, and then he
Oh, I
didn't.
see.
And it
Okay,
was like, oh,
sorry.
that's
Okay.
interesting. Who are those
So if it
for?
was received.
But then I did email and said that I didn't want, him taking photos of him. I notified
Fair enough.
his supervisor.
Okay, right. So we've got this clear. Took pictures of Christian during a contact with you,
Yep.
a video contact with you. No pictures received. So you called him a likely paedophile. Is that right?
Yeah. And then the fact that
Yeah.
he has lied. So I can't trust him. Can't trust somebody that's lied to me.
I get that.
So, yeah, it just kind of adds up. And frankly, the name's alarming. I don't know how someone works with kids with that name. I know you can't judge a book by its cover, but it's pretty bizarre.
I don't think
Pretty
was
bizarre.
originally English, so I think different surnames sometimes don't translate so onto different countries. But yeah,
Yeah.
Where are the photos? So you emailed his supervisor and said no more photos, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there are parents that just say, don't photograph my child. Literally just don't. I've worked with cases before, they were just like, no way, shape or form, no one takes pictures. That's it, end of. But that's a personal choice thing. What I would have kind of expected, though, is in a contact thing like that is, Mr. Bond, would you like me to get a picture of Christian for you? And you could have said yes or no.
Yeah.
Couldn't you at that point? Christian, are you okay with that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And we go from there. And then I expect pictures to be sent to you.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be reasonable.
Okay. That's not unreasonable, I don't think. Okay. So the issue is breakdown of trust with Blessed because you just feel he's lied on several aspects, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything particular else you want to raise about your concerns about the local authority's evidence based on what he's put together?
Only that they don't have any.
Okay.
They really don't appear to have any argument other than saying that, oh, his parents don't get along and he'll be caught in the middle. When that's...
I mean, to be fair, I think saying you don't get along is probably an understatement.
Oh,
isn't it? It's
very.
pretty toxic.
Extremely.
It's pretty toxic.
Extremely toxic.
Yeah.
No denying that part.
I mean, yeah.
But it's bizarre that they think there would be continued contact between me and her when I literally have the police offering a relocation program so she can't find me and my son. Like, I want nothing to do with her. But I do stand by that if she were truly to be, got all the mental health treatment in the world that she needed, she was truly, got a green light, she's mentally okay, then I'd look into supervised visitation because I hate the fact that my son won't have his mother, but she's proven to be so dangerous.
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, she hired somebody to have me killed.
Yeah,
I mean, that's incredible. That's why I got very upset too. The one time, and I think it's what set it off, is that Blessed tried to argue with me why I should co-parent. And I was like, and this was after the abduction attempt in September. And I got very upset with him.
Did you see the CCTV to that? Have you seen that?
Yeah.
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 Horrendous.
So I had initially told him, why would you want me to co-parent with this person who tried to have me killed, tried to abduct him, traumatized him? Like, this is absurd. I'm against that. And he kept pushing it. He kept pushing it.
Co-parenting can only really be done if the parents are both on a reasonable starting base.
Yeah, it made no sense. I was offended by it because it was so... It would endanger him. It's like he was recommending something to hurt him. And I calmly told him I was against it, and he kept pushing it like 5-6 times. And eventually I told him, I said, you need to change subjects. I don't know why you keep talking about this. This is upsetting. You need to stop. And he just wouldn't. And it wasn't a good meeting. Since then he's been just basically seems to be sabotaging, that he just took that personal.
You know you've got a new social worker now, don't you?
No, I don't know.
It's a new social worker. It's not Blessed anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I'm not sure I can get on my phone.
Must have been recent.
I couldn't get hold of him, so I got my legal to email local authority legal. It's changed. I don't even know when it's changed. Give me a sec. I'll just try and find. I think I was only notified on the yesterday. Yesterday, it's Sunday, it's Monday, isn't it? Sorry, it might have been Friday.
Hmm.
Let me have a quick look.
I wonder if it was after they read my statement.
I honestly don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't know. So I'm not sure whether it's changing team or what's actually happened. I think I got something through on Friday, I reckon.
I
I'm
know
gonna
he
have
is
to email
still.
it.
I know he is still on the list to testify.
He will be because he's written the final evidence, so he'll
Yeah,
have to.
and
Unless there's a
Serena Dedral also, which is I'm very thankful for
I
because
would expect that anyone who's written evidence is being challenged or being explored further in the witness, is part of the proceedings. I would expect to get called into court, to be honest with you.
yeah.
Um, I can't see it. I'm going to make a note and I'm going to email it through Mr. Bond. Sorry, I've got an email setting it out, but I just can't locate it at the moment. I'm going to just ask this, and without any offence intended, you've got no restrictions on emailing local authority social workers, have you, at the moment? You haven't been told not to email them or anything at all?
I've only
You're
been
not on a
told.
single point of contact?
I was told not to contact anybody unless it was related to like just purely, business. They had an injunction on that because of the pedophile
Did they?
comment.
Okay, I'm not, yeah, okay, what I'm
Yeah.
going to do then, I'm going to tell my solicitor to send it through to your legal. I'm sorry, Mr. Bond. I don't want to get in a situation where I
Fair.
pass you an email
It's probably a good
and you may
idea.
be you may, because of the quagmire of everything going on, you could be on a single point of contact, and they're like, well, you've given him the email. I'm like, yeah, okay, sorry about that. So I'd rather do it that way. I'll put
Yeah.
email. I'm going to put Tracy Leake, that's a Christian solicitor, but new social worker, to send to Dad.
We are supposed to have a contact tomorrow morning,
Yeah,
so hopefully
I've got the name
that's
Jessica in my mind.
still set.
Can't sure. I'm going to mess with my phone too much because I'm hotspotting off it, but I'm sure it's Jessica somebody. I got the bundles sent through Friday as well because we were trying to work out which was exactly the right current bundle because there's so many pages, and I think that's just filled up my inbox. I'll be honest, on my phone. Yeah, they're normally like 350 pages, maximum maybe 500 pages. I've not seen one that's 6,000 before, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, probably a quarter of that is the mother's submissions.
It's
There's
emails,
endless
it's
emails and
messages, it's
texts.
text messages.
Yeah,
Yeah. There's tons of it, isn't there?
much of which I have
Absolutely tons.
challenged as even being real.
Yeah, well, I've seen the emails you've got attached and like the text messages you've got attached to your statement, where she's obviously tried to do some damage at work and she's obviously done other randomness at various points. I'm guessing her mental health has been unstable at various points, probably for quite a long time, and there's been points where she's obviously become more confused than others, it would appear.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I think
It seemed to
I
start
think
more with just like eccentric, a bit obsessive, and then after she gave birth, I think that really that triggered something with the postpartum depression, possibly
it may have
complicated it,
done.
but I don't know. I don't know.
No, that's fair enough. Is there anything else you think I should know about?
Um,
Your statement's really thorough. You've gone through all the issues that you've got.
yeah.
We know what you want to do. We know the concerns you've got about the family. You're going to send me the Florida home study you've referred to from November last year.
Mm-hmm.
On the off chance neither of us can find it in the bundle, but it could be in there somewhere. There's two different indexes from what I can see, and there's different docs on them. So I've left it to my legal to go through and work out exactly what should be in there. And you said Florida were told paternity was approved as late as November 22, and you think and that's by local authority, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what you were saying.
Yeah, because they must have gotten the information from the UK.
If I've got any more queries, I'll email you. But if you can get me that doc, I'll have a look at that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to draw my attention to, or you think I should know about, or you're quite happy that your statement and what you said today has covered all the aspects you wanted to?
Yeah, I think my statement's pretty good. I spent a lot of time on it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Um, I'd just say I have a general sentiment of confusion and bewilderment by this whole ordeal
Yeah, I get that.
because you know
Yeah, I do understand
my
that.
position is that my son was abducted, and I was so thankful to find out that the UK had removed him from her and he was safe. And then I was told by the solicitors, he should be home by Christmas of 2021 because it was very clear. You're the father, this and that, boom, boom.
Mm.
Return him to his only lawful parent, and here we are still. Um,
Yeah, I know.
and I'll never understand it. And I really feel for my son because if he was returned quickly, he was at such a young age that he wouldn't have remembered it. But
No, not a
now he
lot to
does,
do,
and
to
he
be
had the
fair.
abduction attempt, and it's like, boy, he's been through it, and he shouldn't have.
Yeah, yeah, no, I get that.
So I do hope that as many parties as possible will advocate for his return, because frankly, there has been no substantive issue held against me, like financial, legal, um, complaints about my home or safety or my behavior towards him. Across the board, I've gotten every box was checked. So I don't know why anyone would even be seeking to have him adopted. It's very very strange and suspicious, frankly. It's a bit suspicious because it doesn't make legal sense. It doesn't make moral sense. Um, and I have consulted with quite a number of lawyers to try to get some clarity, and they're all like, "Yeah, no, this isn't legal. This is
I
nuts."
think that's one of the queries I'd got was why adoption? Why proposing adoption? Because it doesn't seem because they do that to remove parents' PR, parental responsibility over here, but with a family placement, we don't do that over here, and you'd retain PR even if it wasn't placed in your care. So that's why the Florida experts information is so needed to help us understand why it has to be that order. I don't get why there must be enough children placed in family placements in the US that aren't adopted. So what order are they placed under, which is what I'm asking. Because it
Yeah,
just it just doesn't.
it's it's
I can
it's uh
understand.
it's a weird thing to attempt. It doesn't make any sense.
No,
And all the
it doesn't
lawyers
sit
I've
quite
talked
right,
to
just to
said
be
it doesn't
absolutely
make
fair.
sense.
Yeah,
Every lawyer's
I,
like, "Yep, nope."
if the court decides that he can't be returned to your care and that the family place is the only option, is a family placement, that's obviously a matter for the High Court. It's just the actual order they would use. I, I'm at a loss to why it would have to be adoption. Normally, they tend to go with a lesser order if there's one available and they can. And I don't see why the US would not have a lesser order that would serve the purpose, because particularly when there's going to be ongoing contact planned for both yourself, for mom, maternal grand. Yeah, it's not sitting quite right, is it? To be honest, that part of it, I don't get
No.
it.
I do
That's me
know
being
that
very
the
honest. I
the
don't.
judge here in California has finally been in contact with Justice Levin.
Oh, have
Um,
they?
well, if they haven't talked yet, they were planning to. I know my
Well,
lawyer said that.
I would know. The
Yeah,
Q's, the
yeah, I don't know.
KCs might know. I wouldn't know. I'm way down the
Yeah,
food chain.
but yeah, my solicitor confirmed that they either already spoke or are intending to before the hearing. In
Oh,
which
that's
case,
helpful.
I know the California judge is already like, just give us our kid back. So I think
Well,
that'll be positive.
you get jurisdictional issues here, even in different counties or like Scotland and England. So sometimes you just need the judges to get together and decide what they're going to do.
Yeah,
Because otherwise it just gets very, very complicated. So that should happen before court.
yeah.
Um,
And what's also helpful too is that Los Angeles Child and Family Services, they vetted me, they inspected my home,
I've seen the
background
home
check. Yeah, they
inspection.
did all
Yeah.
of that, and they were like, "Yeah, we're all good." That was another thing that Blessed had lied about. he
What?
he
What do you mean?
completely ignored the that this home study was already done. He questioned safety concerns and
See,
this and that.
I read that earlier. I know
Yeah,
I've seen that, but I know it's in there. Got a bit of the notes here, but I remember reading that earlier.
yeah. I think he didn't read the bundle. That's my impression.
It's Elizabeth Gregorian, 27th of Jan last year. At home study, condition
Oh,
check.
yes. Yeah, yes.
Elizabeth Gregorian,
Yeah.
27th of January 22. It's in the bundle. I read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in there. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, based on what you said, is I'll go through Blessed stuff and see what I can make sure is covered and adjusted. I like things fair, and if it's been done, and if it's been raised by the allies not being done, given a side of the bundle, and given the amount of bundles going around, there is potential for a clerical error. I'm not excusing anything, but there is potential there. You know, just by the amount of bundles Casey and Sister got on Friday, was about 4 of them between us, and we were trying to work out which one was which, and there's a couple that are like 3,048, and 2 of us have got ones that were 3,023. We didn't know what was missing, and so there's potential there for just from the pure volume of it. But again,
one of my favorite
we know is done.
One of my favorite bits that my solicitors actually won't be including because they think it's too confrontational. But I flat out tell Blessed, and I still have the audio. I told Blessed that the UK was unlawfully meddling with a U.S. matter. I said that it was illegal, and he said, "Yeah, that's true," and he laughed. He laughed at me. And I have that recorded. But they said, well, that won't actually help your case. It'll only make him look terrible and maybe he loses his job, but that's not actually legally relevant. It's more of a personal
I think the jurisdictional stuff's been dealt with by the court, and they're saying they've got jurisdiction. I'm assuming, because I don't understand the logistics of this, and something was done before I got on board, that I'm being told the jurisdiction is here, and that's where the Hague stuff's come in. That's my understanding.
Yeah, no, the jurisdiction's there. It's just that the UK is completely denying my custody rights, which is...
Yeah, they're not acting on the Oklahoma order, is what I think is...
Yeah, they're completely blowing it off, which if my son weren't an American, I would understand, but it's like...
He's American, yeah.
It's like, this is an order.
I know.
You know, it does...
I think it's one of those situations where it's working out which order is enforceable, what orders should be in place, what shouldn't be in place, and it's a matter for the lawyers, because it's way beyond my understanding. And I think that's when the experts come over from Oklahoma and from Florida to explain to us exactly what this means on the ground, which order has primacy effect, where should he be?
Yeah, it's been interesting, the legal minutia, because at the end of the day, the goal everybody should have is that you want a parent reunited with their kid, and vice versa, unless there's a serious issue. And it should be that simple. And there is no issue. No one's even said there is. No one's made a single complaint. It's I don't get it. Contact's been going great. Relationship with him's been stellar. All the contact notes are...
wasn't it?
Yeah, there's only one time that contact was negative. There was a negative report.
Wasn't that the day after the abduction, though, when he was a bit crying and a bit upset in contact, and you were saying, well, he's not quite himself?
It was maybe a month after. And it was the same woman who had pulled him away from his mother, which was the right thing. Like, I'm glad she did.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you can think, the impact that had on him, not knowing what's going on. And when she was supervising, he just kept saying, go away, and he was just... So I requested that supervisor not be there, because the supervisor was writing negative reports saying it was my fault. And I was like, he's great every time. It was only with, I think her name was Christina Oblong. And she seemed like a nice woman. I had nothing against her. But for her to not realize the psychology that was at play here, that it wasn't me.
My understanding was when he was brought back to contact, I want to say the day after, within a day or two of the attempted abduction, he was, no, I don't want to go. And he was quite distressed coming in. And that you'd sort of picked up that what's happened, what's wrong with him, quite reasonably.
Yes.
And they took him back to the same building. And I said to them, what are you doing that for? Why would you take him back to the same building?
Then to take him to the same building, and then also the same person that was involved. And I was like,
It's
"Boo!"
like, come on now.
Yeah,
That's just happened day or two before. So why would you get that child anywhere near that building when he's been wrestled with workers and mom outside? I did get that.
yeah.
But I didn't find. I think the foster carer told me a couple of days later. I think she raised that with me.
She's wonderful, by the way.
Okay.
Um,
Huh?
and she's wonderful, by the way. The foster care has been excellent.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
He
why
seems really happy
I
and
miss
settled
having
there.
contact
So.
directly through her because that had gone pretty well, but there was some alarm raised over a couple videos I had posted. Um,
Yeah, I think to be absolutely fair, they tend normally not to have foster carers supervising contact. And with her, she's a single adult carer of a couple of children, and
yeah,
one of the ones she cares for has got additional needs. So I think it's a case of divided attention you can't logistically manage
yeah,
the
I think
children. You
that's
know what I
pretty
mean?
much what
If
happened.
she's going to supervise you with Christian, then she's got another little chap about the same age with her as well. So I think it's just practically not working so well.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's all I need to ask if that's okay. If you don't mind sending me that stuff through, I'll have a little
Hmm.
dig around and see what else I can find as well. If I've got any queries, I'll email you if that's okay as well, though. I'm going
Sure.
to have a look at that stuff and just go through letters again.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Fab. Thank you so much for your time.
No
And
problem.
thank you very much. I think we does say evening. It's day for you, isn't it, though?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks. Bye, Mr. Bond.
All right. Thank you. Bye.